I've honestly just been waiting to make the perfect summer dress, and I can't believe today is the day I'm finally making it. Hey guys, I'm Tammy and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sewing a really cute pinafore dress. Now, if you remember, a couple months ago, I went to the Stitch Festival in London and I got this exact fabric from a brand called Fabric Godmother. And it's a really cute cotton fabric. If I just give you a close up, you can see it's got some really cute cocktail glasses. I think there's bows on this somewhere. And I think it's going to be perfect for summer. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and sew this today using my Margo Pinafore pattern. I am someone that absolutely loves wearing dresses that I can just throw over really easy. And I definitely want to make the square neck variation because I love how that fits. So I've got the Margo Pinafore pattern cut out right here. I personally sew a size 8 in the Margo Pinafore, but I grade to a size 10 at the waist and the hip, and it just fits perfectly. So you can see this pattern has bust darts right here at the side, and it has a really cute fitted silhouette at the bust that then goes out at the waist and hip. So it's really great for summer if you want something easy and casual to wear but still feel put together. It's actually really crinkly. I don't know if you can tell. Normally I iron them out to make them flat. I actually store my sewing patterns in these little plastic wallets. I definitely need a better solution because I end up just having hundreds of these wallets with all my patterns and other patterns that I've bought. Let me know in the comments how you personally organize your sewing patterns, because this is definitely getting way too much to store. Anyway, let's go ahead and cut this fabric out. So I was just about to cut this out and then I realized I haven't actually pre-washed my fabric. I'm honestly so bad at remembering to do that. So I thought I'd use my iron and just use some steam to help pre-shrink it instead of having to put it in the wash or wait for that. I don't know why, I just find it so boring to do that step. I know how important it is. Hopefully this fabric won't shrink that much once it's been washed in the washing machine, but at least it's better than nothing. And we're all ironed. So I have all my pattern pieces cut out right here, and the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is sew darts. So the front bodice and the front lining both have darts at the side seam. It just creates such a nice fitted part at the bust. So you can see here I actually marked mine with pen, the Frixion erasable pen, and I'm going to go ahead and just use some pins to pin them in place. If you find darts kind of hard to do, what I like to do is go ahead and mark them obviously on the wrong side of the fabric and pinch the dart at the tip. And then I'll go ahead and use a pin and put it right at that tip point. So there. And then I'll go find the other end. So there, like that. And you want to make sure the pin goes through the front and the back roughly at the same point. And now you have your dart pinned, and you're going to sew that at the sewing machine. And when you get to the end, I personally like to make my stitch a bit tighter and then go off and tie a knot at the end. So I've gone ahead and sewn the darts, and then when you get to the end and you have those 2 spare threads at the bottom, you're then going to want to tie a knot at the tip of the dart like that. So you can see I've just tied a knot right at the tip, and then when you open it up, there won't be any puckering right at the top of the dart. So I'm just going to repeat that at the other dart on the lining of the bodice, and then I'm also going to do the same for the main dress. So I've gone ahead and sewn that dart, and I personally like to press it down using an iron and then just setting that in place. So this is what that dart looks like from the right side. It's really nice and clean. Now I've gone ahead and sewn the shoulder seams for the front and the back. So that's the lining of the front and back. And then we've also got the main dress front and back here as well that I've also sewn at the shoulder seams. I'm going to go ahead and finish the edges off on the overlocker. So I've just realised my overlocker isn't ready. You do need to finish the seams using an overlocker for this pattern. You can just use a zigzag stitch on your normal sewing machine, but personally I find I like the way an overlocked edge looks on the inside. So I've been using this white thread on my overlocker to try beading some fabric, and I found it actually worked really well instead of using invisible thread. So I need to go ahead and rethread this overlocker, but it's actually super easy with the machine that I have. So I have the Brother Airflow 3000 and it's such a good overlocker. It actually is, a lot of it is automatic. It definitely needs a bit of a clean. I just use a little brush like this. It has a little end, and I just go ahead inside here and just give it a little wiggle to get rid of any loose debris inside. And then I'll just go ahead and use my little brush to take out any excess. And then with this specific machine, like you would with any one, you'd go ahead and get your overlocker thread and put it through the grooves up here. And then on this one, you go in, you turn this knob down here down, and then when I actually go ahead and twist this dial, it will lock it in place, that little clicking sound that you heard. And now I'm able to air thread the thread through the machine automatically. So here's that thread that I just put through, and there's like L and U, and you put it in the L one to begin with. And then when I press this button, it's actually going to thread it through. Sometimes bring a bit more out. And as I've done that, hopefully you can see it air threaded it through that section. And I just push that back. And then I do the exact same up here. I'll literally push that through, go down. And then there's another U section, and that's where I put the second thread. And then again, I press that button and it literally threads it through. So you can see it's done that over there. And then these two you just thread normally like you would. There is a self-threading needle thing here. When you push it down, it threads the needle on its own. So super easy to do. And if you are someone that loves using the overlocker but finds it just is such a ball ache to change threads, or in general use your overlocker because you fear the threading aspect, definitely go ahead and look for air threading features because it makes the process so much easier. Now, when you're a beginner, it can be so easy to just glaze over really important steps like ironing your seams. And I've just finished sewing and overlocking the shoulder seams. Now I'm going to go ahead and iron the seam flat towards the back. Stuff like this honestly makes your projects look so much more professional, and a lot of people really underestimate how much pressing your seams result in such a nice garment. Just doing that on the main dress fabric. Again, repeat the process of ironing on the lining as well. So I've got the dress with the right side facing up, the main dress, and then I've got my lining. I did finish the hem of the lining using an overlocker. You also want to do that at the front and back of the facing. You can definitely use pinking shears again. What you want to do now is go ahead and lie the lining on top of the main fabric with the right sides together like that. And then we're going to pin around the neckline. So for the past couple of years, I've been preferring using clips instead of pins. I find them so much easier to use, especially if you are a beginner. They're easier to handle and pick up. So we're going to go ahead and pin the neckline of the front and back. I always like to start at the shoulder seams first and align those. And then it just means everything should be easier to align when you get to the front neckline. And then again, I'll align the square neck corners. And it just makes it so much easier to make sure everything lines up properly. So now that I've gone ahead and pinned that in place, I'm just going to sew around the entire neckline. So this is what the square neckline version is looking like already. So you can see this corner here is exactly where you pivot to continue sewing along the square neckline. And you do that twice to create the square neck. I just got some scissors because now I'm going to go and clip the curves around the back neckline and also right in that square neckline version. Because you can see here, that square neckline right there, that corner, I'm going to clip into it Obviously not cutting into the stitching, just so when we turn it out, it's really easy to get that nice corner. So again, doing that there and there. And then you can definitely clip the curves around the entire back neckline. Personally, what I like to do actually is just reduce the seam allowance to maybe half, like that. And only really do this on the back neckline. I don't feel like I need it when I'm doing the front. And it just means when we press this curve that it's easier to get a nice smooth curve. So I went ahead and ironed the neckline so it's nice and flat. So this is what it looks like from the front side. You can see that square neckline, and then the back also looks like that. So really cute. I did end up having to go back and understitch the neckline because it just wasn't ironing properly. So this little section here, you can see that stitching. I understitched all the way along the neckline, and then I went ahead and just pressed it flat again because it makes a big difference when you're wearing it and what it looks like from the right side. Now to finish off the armholes, we're going to be using the burrito method. It's something that honestly used to scare me because it always sounded really complex and hard to follow, but I break it down super easy in my instructions, and I'm also going to show you how to do it in this video. It's definitely one of those things where once you do it once, you'll understand it's so much easier to do than you think. It just makes the insides of your garments look so professionally done. So I've got the dress laying in front of me. This is the wrong side of the main dress facing up, and when you do this you'll see the lining looks like this. We're going to go ahead and roll this armhole section here towards the middle. So I'm literally just going to roll this around like so, and as we do that we're getting closer to the other armhole, just rolling it ever so slightly more like that. Then we're going to get the other armhole like this, bring it over, wrap our hand underneath and bring the other side over, and as we've done that we've sandwiched that roll in between these two layers of fabric, and if we touch them so they're right sides facing like that, we've now sandwiched the roll inside in the actual shoulder seam. So again, I'm just going to clip that in place. So I like to make sure the shoulder seams are aligned like that, and then push this roll in a bit more and open the rest of the seam like that. So as we've done that, you can see we're basically encasing the roll inside, and I'm just going to go ahead and pin the armhole. Now I do have a whole video really step by step and very much slower on how to sew this pattern. I'll leave that link down below. That goes through every single detail and you can use it instead of looking at the instructions. But hopefully you can just see it is really not that hard to do once you do it once. So that's that section here. Again, I'm going to take the other underarm, bring it over, put my hand underneath, take the other underarm, and as we do that, we're basically just putting them right sides together. So as you can see behind me, I've gone ahead and pinned that armhole seam, that first one right here, and we're going to take that to the sewing machine and just sew it using a 1 centimeter seam allowance. You definitely want to use lightweight fabric for your lining, because if you use something that's too thick, when we pull the rest of the dress through the shoulders, it can be such a nightmare to work with. So now that we've done the burrito method, we are going to want to now press the armhole curves to make it nice and flat. You can definitely use the understitching method to tack the seam allowance down first. Personally, I don't do this when I'm doing the underarms because you can't really go that far into the curve. So I just go ahead and use an iron instead to keep the lining from rolling out. Now we're going to go ahead and sew the side seams of the dress. It really isn't that complicated. Now because we've got a lining and the main fabric, we're essentially just going to flip the lining up on the front and back and then pin that in place. And then we just sew the side seam of the lining and the main dress all in one. It just means that from the right side when you're wearing it, you won't be able to see any raw seams in the underarm section. So we've got the front dress facing us and this is the wrong side facing up. What I'm going to do is flip that facing up, and then underneath you can see the back dress. So we're going to flip that facing up as well, like that. And if you put them on top of each other, you can see now the right sides are facing. And we're just going to pin that and sew that along and do the same on the other side. So now that I've gone ahead and sewn the side seams, I just turn the dress right side out and I'm just pressing these side seams flat with my iron. Again, these steps are super important and they just help create a really nice finished result at the end. So the dress is looking so cute. So it's practically done now. All we have to do now is hem the dress and also do a thing called stitch in the ditch. So because we sewed lining on this dress, if I go to the side seam, this is the side seam of the dress. So we've got the front here and the back here, and this line here is the side seam. We want to sew directly into this stitch right here into the seam, just to tack the lining down. So when we're wearing it, the lining isn't going to flip out on us. And it just means it will tack it down and won't move or anything like that. So you want to do that on both side seams, and then we're going to go ahead and hem the dress. I'm honestly obsessed with how cute this turned out. Look how adorable that fabric is, and when you have it in a full dress like this, this is going to be perfect for summer. Let me show you what it looks like on me. So I hope you enjoyed seeing how I sewed that really cute summer dress today. You can find the Margo Pinafore pattern, the one that I used, on my website. I've left a link in the description box down below. That pattern actually comes with 2 neckline variations. So you can either sew it with the square neck that you saw today, or you can sew it with a v-neckline. Honestly, both are perfect. And it comes in 14 different sizes. So it's a really nice size inclusive pattern and it's perfect all year round. Definitely let me know down in the comments what you thought of today's video, and if you like how the final dress turned out. I honestly love wearing dresses that can just throw over. It's really easy to wear, and this is going to be a perfect addition to my wardrobe. One thing I would do, which I didn't do today, is I would go ahead actually and top stitch the neckline and the armholes down. So at the moment I just pressed it. I probably will go ahead and just top stitch around, and it just helps mean when you put this in the wash, it's going to be much easier to keep those clean, crisp areas on the neckline. I probably will do that later on, but I was just so excited to sew this up and I wanted to show you what it looks like. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Definitely subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me, and I'll see you in the next one.